Prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. When God's servants speak forth, the wise listen. Deuteronomy 18:22. God is still saying something.
Emmanuel, God is still saying something. This is Anne reporting for Emmanuel TV. On Sunday, the 30th of May 2010, during a live Sunday service at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, Prophet T.B. Joshua gave a prophetic message concerning a hurricane, saying that it would be warming up by the 3rd of June. Let's listen to what he said.
Pray for a nation. I'm seeing hurricane. But it's not from our continent here. Okay? But I'm seeing this infant begin to blow, warming up 3 June. It will warming up, and finally come out in a full force by 15 June. They should pray. I see the section of the place in the world, the country, the continent, it will happen. But I'm still wanted to say exactly area. Yes, the section, the country, this will happen. So it warming up by June 3, they will not see that effectiveness, but by 15, you will begin to hear it will come from one country and enter another country and enter another country. So I will keep you informed. I'll let you know what I'm talking about.
On Sunday, the 6th of June 2010, Prophet T.B. Joshua further prophesied concerning a natural disaster, mentioning an earthquake that would take place in Indonesia, very close to the border. He said,
"In Jesus Christ's name,
Amen.
We pray." In Indonesia, very close to their edge of their border, I'm seeing a natural disaster. A lot of people were running for their life. Could this be earthquake or water storm, or what could this be? A disaster that will cause the country, Indonesia, part of the nation. I'm seeing this will happen, and it's warming up, and it will happen any moment. So the nation should be very careful. What could this be? It will affect a lot of people. So they should pray for this nation, Indonesia. Open your lips and pray for them. Pray for them, pray for them. In Jesus Christ's name we pray.
A week later, on Sunday, the 13th of June 2010, Prophet T.B. Joshua referred to the prophecy again, asking the congregation to pray on Wednesday and Thursday against natural disasters. This is what he said.
Pray against earthquake. It's now warming up. I told you on the 3, the whole thing warming up. On the 15, you begin to see what I'm talking about. But I'm seeing it at the border edge of India, moving from India to another ocean. It's moving and moving. And I mentioned of Indonesia, it will leave the Asia country down to part of states. Observe this Wednesday, Thursday fast, and support the war in prayer. Pray against natural disaster like storm, water, rain, earthquake, this natural disaster, and the whole thing will actually begin to appear by June 15.
During the period from the 3rd to the 15th of June and in the weeks that followed, many natural disasters, including hurricanes, earthquakes, tropical storms, and floods, broke out in various parts of the world. Just as Prophet T.B. Joshua said that he saw a hurricane warming up by the 3rd of June, News broke out that tropical cyclone Fet struck the coast of Oman in the Middle East on Thursday, June 3rd, 2010, before moving to Pakistan and India. Let's watch the news.
This tropical cyclone, Fet, came to be the second most powerful cyclone ever recorded in the Arabian Sea. In the meantime, we're already starting to see high seas, high waves, and that forecast, with that large margin of error continues for the next couple of days after that. Yes, Pakistan could be affected by the storm. Probably won't be as strong as it is now, but it could intensify quickly in those very warm waters. They are taking precautions here. About 60,000 people have been evacuated already. Here you see a police officer on horseback at the beach telling people, you know what, stay away from the water. Look at those high waves. It's still pretty dangerous out here.
This is where the inauguration of the Tata Nano plant just took some time back. Now, this place completely has seen a sea change here. Winds have picked up. The cyclonic activity, Cyclone Fet, is heading towards Gujarat. As you can see, the clouds are completely overcast. Just 2 hours back, it was extremely sunny and hot here. Right there, you can see the dust storm has picked up. Very, very difficult to even talk on camera here because the sand is entering our eyes also. Very, very windy situation now. Winds have picked up in the last just 45 minutes or so. And this temporary shed here right behind me, this is where the press conference at the Tata was supposed to take place. But this has now been shifted because this place could have also come down, because the winds have really picked up in the last just 45 minutes or so. But we are told Cyclone Fet is heading towards Gujarat. The wind speed could increase as high as 125 kilometers per hour, and in the next 45 minutes, in the next hour or so, we believe the rain also could come down. In fact, it's already drizzling now, and it's impossible to see anything now. As you can see, it's completely dark and extremely gloomy. Very, very difficult to see anything. It's a sandstorm here now. We will be going here, but the authorities are warning all those locals. The fire engine also by right from there, going because trying to just ensure that nothing wrong really happens here. Fire engine right there. But all coastal areas have been warned. All fishermen have been told not to really venture out in the sea, and we also will be now going inside because now it's becoming extremely difficult to even look at the camera.
A cyclone is the meteorological name for hurricanes in the Indian Ocean and Western Pacific. In Oman, 10,000 people were moved to safer areas, and in Pakistan, 60,000 were evacuated from coastal villages. Cyclone Fet left thousands of Pakistanis homeless. Damage from the cyclone in Oman was estimated to have exceeded $718 million. Recall the prophecy Prophet TB Joshua gave concerning an earthquake in the country, Indonesia.
In Indonesia, very close to their edge of their border, I'm seeing a natural disaster. A lot of people were running for their life. Could this be earthquake or water storm, or what could this be? A disaster that will cost the country, Indonesia, part of the nation. I'm saying this will happen, and it's warming up, and it will happen any moment. So the nation should be very careful. What could this be? It will affect a lot of people. So they should pray for this nation, Indonesia.
True to the prophet's words, on the 16th of June 2010, several powerful earthquakes struck near the coast of Indonesia's West Papua province on Wednesday, killing at least 3 people, triggering landslides and demolishing dozens of homes. One of the earthquakes measured 7.0 on the Richter scale. Let's watch the news.
Hello, I'm Jenny Harrison at the World Weather Centre. We've just had news in of 2 earthquakes just very close to the coast of Indonesia. I can show you on the maps where both earthquakes have actually taken place, if we can bring that map up. Now, they've happened in the last few minutes. You can see there's 2 boxes there, 2 red boxes, both occurring in the last hour. Now, they are indeed both on land or under the ground. In fact, the first one actually occurred at 03:06 GMT, and that was about 25 kilometres below the surface, and that one was a 6.4 magnitude. And then literally less than 10 minutes later, another has been reported, a 7 magnitude quake. So we're looking at two very powerful quakes, particularly the 7 quake.
Hello there and welcome. This is World Report live from London. I'm Don Riddell. The earth shook in northern Indonesia and kept shaking. 4 earthquakes rocked Papua province in the space of just an hour. Officials at the scene now report that at least 2 people have died. The US Geological Survey reports one earthquake had a magnitude of 7.0. The others were less powerful. The epicenters of the earthquakes were clustered within 50 kilometers of each other. Now, one police chief near the epicenter says that people ran from their homes when the quake struck, and we're now told that at least 2 people have died as a result of the tremors. We don't have any pictures in of this incident just yet, and it took place some 2,000 miles away from the capital, Jakarta. It's in a very remote area. But let's bring in one of our producers from CNN Jakarta, Andy Saputra, with more on the situation here. Andy?
Yes, Don. Obviously, this remote area was shocked by 4 earthquakes in close succession, and they were all panicking, according to eyewitnesses' report, and they're all running up to higher ground. Now, Indonesia, obviously, is very well-oiled in earthquakes and tsunamis. Indonesia is located at the Pacific Ring of Fire, where earthquakes and tsunamis are often generated. And with the 2004 Asian tsunami that happened, Indonesia put in place a tsunami early warning system, and that obviously what we saw has taken place today. People know they have to run to higher places. The information got out quickly, and it's unfortunately, according to police reports, there are 2 casualties, 20 houses are destroyed, and seven spots are on fire in around that island. Now, Biak Island is a very remote area. It is part of an island formation just northern part of Papua. It's a very remote area, and mostly there are fishing villages there. Don?
Let's recall the words of Prophet T.B. Joshua on the 13th of June 2010 concerning natural disasters between the 3rd and the 15th of June, mentioning storms, water, rain and earthquakes in different nations such as India and the United States.
Pray against earthquake. It's now warming up. I told you on the 3, the whole thing warming up on the 15th. You begin to see what I'm talking about. But I'm seeing it at the border edge of India, moving from India to another ocean. It's moving and moving. And I mentioned of Indonesia. It will leave the Asia country down to part of states. Observe this Wednesday, Thursday fast and support the war in prayer. Pray against natural disaster like storm, water, rain, earthquake, this natural disaster, and the whole thing will actually begin to appear by June 15.
Just as Prophet T.B. Joshua had prophesied, a series of natural disasters were warming up during the period of the 3rd to the 15th of June, leading to floods in the United States, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake in India, and severe flooding in France, China, and soon after in Brazil. In India, an earthquake measuring a magnitude 7.5 was reported early Sunday in the Indian Ocean west of India's Nicobar Islands. Let's watch the news.
A Fox News alert, a very powerful earthquake striking just a short time ago off the coast of India. The 7.7 quake is a little more than 100 miles west of Misha. That's on the Nicobar Islands. We are getting word that tsunami watches have now been issued for parts of the Indian Ocean. Now, this area is very close to Sri Lanka. You may recall that country saw major devastation from the massive tsunami back in 2004. The warning center, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, saying that Quote, earthquakes of this size have the potential to generate a destructive tsunami and sometimes a destructive regional tsunami along all the coastlines, no more than 1,000 miles from the earthquake's epicenter. So that will affect a great many areas. This news just coming in. We're going to keep you posted on any further development.
Just as Prophet T.B. Joshua mentioned that a natural disaster would leave an Asian country down to a part of the United States on the 10th and 11th of June 2010, news hit the headlines of strong floods in Arkansas, USA, tearing through a campsite, killing at least 20 holidaymakers. News followed on Monday, the 14th of June, that severe thunderstorms ripped through central Oklahoma, USA, triggering vicious flash floods that left 136 people injured, roads and cars submerged, and thousands without power. Let's watch the news.
All right, these are live pictures from Oklahoma City in the United States. Some neighborhoods are being evacuated as thunderstorms completely flooded parts of that city. If I understand this correct, this is a dam that we're worried about because it might eventually, because of the levels of the water, eventually flood other zones. Fire departments have had to rescue as many as 30 people from cars, homes, or businesses. Thousands remain without power, and Oklahoma City received more than 20 centimeters of rain in the past 10 hours.
Now then, severe thunderstorms have ripped through the United States state of Oklahoma on Monday, triggering vicious flash floods. Our meteorologist Jenny Harrison is at the World Weather Centre with the details. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Don. Yes, not a good day at all on Monday. In fact, the rain coming down in about 6 hours. Let me show you where it all came from. It was all erupting out of Texas across into Oklahoma. And I can show you straight away some of those pictures because they really are quite tremendous. Look at this. 59 counties out of 77 are now being declared state of emergency. As I say, the flooding is widespread. There's also some dramatic footage to show of a woman who was actually rescued from a raging river. She was clinging to this tree for at least 20 minutes or more. Finally, the rescuers did indeed manage to reach her, but I'd imagine by that time she was extremely cold and also extremely tired. Now, let me show you the rain that did come down, because 250 millimetres fell in some parts of Oklahoma. That's shown here by the pink shaded area. And in fact, one city close to Oklahoma City, Edmond, received over 245 millimetres. That, as well, the authorities there are saying that they've seen the worst flooding there in 25 years. Now, this was all coming in with one area of unsettled weather, some thunderstorms, some very strong and slow-moving thunderstorms, and then coming in behind that has been another set in the last few hours, but moving a lot quicker. So that, of course, is some good news. It's still falling on those flooded ground, of course, that area of flooded ground, but we've also got more rain in the forecast the next 48 hours into the southeast. We're going to see scattered thunderstorms. Some can be heavy at times, and also quite a bit of rain around those thunderstorms.
Let's recall the words of Prophet T.B. Joshua.
Pray against natural disaster like storm, water, rain, earthquake, this natural disaster, and the whole thing will actually begin to appear by June 15.
Just as the prophet said that the whole thing would begin to appear by June the 15th, from the 15th of June onwards, news of consecutive natural disasters dominated the headlines. Among them were flash floods across southeastern France, turning city streets into meter-high brown rivers that swept away cars, trees, and parts of houses. At least 1,000 people had to leave their homes and spend the night in schools or other temporary shelters, and some 175,000 houses were estimated to have been left without electricity. It was named France's worst flood since 1827.
Deadly flash floods in southeastern France, and 15 people are dead, and rescue workers raced to save hundreds of people trapped in their cars and on rooftops overnight. Mari Ramos joins us now from the International Weather Centre with more on this. And Mari, just astounding pictures coming out of France.
Really amazing stuff. What we're the kinds of things that we're starting to see across this area, and the rescues are ongoing. I want to show you a series of images that I have here for you. This from Draguignan. Now, Rosemary, really scary stuff. Look at all of these cars piled up one on top of the other. This area had over 200 millimeters of rain. Most of that fell in just a matter of hours. Here is a campground in Lemieux, and what kind of reminds me of the images that we saw after that deadly flash flooding here in Arkansas in the U.S. just about a week ago. Flash flooding can happen anywhere in the world. It is more common, of course, in areas that are low-lying, if you live near mountains, any kind of elevation. And of course, it's going to happen when you have very heavy rain that falls very, very quickly. Here you see some pictures right over here from the fire department even was affected by this. And a vehicle is really one of the most dangerous places that you can be when it comes to flooding. Here you see a woman standing there on the side of her home.
I want to go to Jim Bitterman now in Paris for the latest on the flash flooding across France. And Jim, I think most of us have been shocked by the pictures that we have seen coming out of France, as well as the French being shocked too, no doubt.
Absolutely, Rosemary. In fact, I think it caught everybody by surprise. In some areas of the southwest of France, especially around the town of Draguignan, more than a foot of water fell in just a few hours' time. And that town of Draguignan, which sits down in a valley with mountains around, was kind of a funnel for a lot of that water. At some points, the level of the water rose 6 feet above normal levels. So a lot of water standing around, and people were trapped. They were trapped in their cars. They were trapped in their houses. The rescue workers, and about 2,000 people were mobilized as of yesterday afternoon. They've been working throughout the night, last night and into the day today. The rescue workers have gone on more than 400 helicopter rescue missions, plucking people off of rooftops of their homes, but also cars and other places, wherever they could be. It was dry.
Southern China was also devastated by severe flooding, in which more than 200 died and 2.4 million people were displaced. Nationwide, the floods damaged power supplies, ruined crops, affected roads, bridges and infrastructure. Damage costs were estimated at £400,000. Over 29 million people have been affected by the flood.
Let's get a check now on what's going on with the international weather picture. Mari Ramos joins us. Mari, where are we starting this time?
Oh, we're going to start fairly close to home there for you, Angeli. We're going to start in China this time around. The rains came early for you this year, and they have come in with a vengeance. We've had very heavy rainfall, especially here across southern China, from Fujian province all the way down even into western Guangdong and Guangxi province. This is a huge concern because the rain just keeps coming. Look at these images. Angeli, this is amazing. Look at that. He's carrying a baby, a small child in his arms, trying to cross this flooded river. It's just, my heart stopped when I saw these pictures for the first time. This is just what people are having to go through here after the rain has caused significant flooding across these areas. Guangxi, Fujian, and Sichuan provinces all affected. There were reports of not only massive flooding, but also landslides. Rail links disrupted in Fujian province, and state media is reporting 42 people have been killed since Sunday. Another 36 missing, and they're urging people to, you know what? Stay prepared because more rain is on the way. Look at this next set of pictures right here. This is the huge sinkhole that opened up at a playground at a school in Hunan province. People from around the area were evacuated, and they were giving $40 US each to try to find another place to live. Really a serious situation. All of this happening. Look at the buildings crumbling down because of all of the heavy rain that they continue to get in this region.
Another catastrophic natural disaster occurred in Brazil, where over 14 millimeters of rainfall caused severe flooding. At least 42 were killed, 120,000 missing, and 115,000 made homeless as the floods destroyed roads, bridges, and houses of many major destinations. Over 40,000 homes were swept away in the flood.
And our other top story continues to be the situation in Brazil. Amazing, the images that we're getting from here as well, really. To take a look at these pictures, they're saying that many homes have been destroyed, like the ones that you see here, leaving thousands of people just without any kind of shelter. There are rescues ongoing, as you can see there, people stuck on rooftops, helicopters coming down to try to save them. All of this happening in the states of Alagoas and Pernambuco. This is a time of year where they're not supposed to be seeing this much rain. We are expecting some isolated rain showers over the next couple of days. Nothing as heavy as what we saw before. And that's definitely some good news. Relita, back to you.
Well, continued heavy rains and flooding have officials in Brazil concerned about a climbing death toll after 4 days of torrential downpours. Officials now saying 33 people are known dead, but 1,000 are unaccounted for, and officials say 40,000 people are homeless. But local media say the figure is actually much higher. Rain is expected to continue through the day, making rescue and recovery even more difficult as more roads and buildings are washed away.
We at Emmanuel TV and the Synagogue Church of All Nations pray for all the families of those who lost their loved ones and also for those who lost their livelihoods in these natural disasters, that God would comfort them in their grief and give them the grace to bear the loss. We pray for all those affected by these natural disasters, that in these perilous times they would trust Jesus Christ with all their hearts, knowing that God shows himself strong on behalf of those who depend on him. To witness the power of prophecy, join us every Sunday for our live service on Emmanuel TV at 9 a.m. West Africa time, 10 a.m. Central Africa time, 3 p.m. Indo-China time, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 12 a.m. Pacific Time, and 3 a.m. USA Eastern Standard Time. This is Anne reporting for Emmanuel TV. And remember, God is still saying something.